small barrel jack.
Okay, let's see if we get the right moment. Oh shit, there it goes. Kick ass. But what this is Andy has built a 3D printed sleuth logo that is programmable that will hook up to the Twitch chat bot. So you'll be able to change colors and I don't know, whatever else cool things we can think of doing it. So this is the gift that came on Friday. And so I'm going to open it up and Andy is on. Say hi, Andy.
Hello. Hello.
To help me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm excited. So there's that.
I'm
That's
not
all I
going to
got
help you
going
open
for
the
me.
package, though.
The what?
I'm not going to help you open the package, Evan.
Yes, I think I can get that part. I keep meaning to carry a knife. I don't have any knives. People always say a man's not a man without a knife in his pocket. I don't know. Somebody says that, I think.
I guess as long as it's closed up and, not just open in the pocket.
Yes, that's true. I don't have it. So instead I have keys. Boy, you know what? Butter knife. Here we go. Yeah, unboxing. I feel like one of those fancy YouTubers that is always unboxing some graphics card or some shit.
Yeah, but they don't have guests on at the same time or do it live.
Or have the guest who built the thing on. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's pretty badass. Oh, fucking hell. Well, we're off to a great start. The tape is blocking me.
You're good. I've got the good packaging tape, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah, the package job is interesting. There is some styrofoam in there, just be forewarned. Don't want to
Make sure I'm getting this on camera.
Make sure that styrofoam's not flying everywhere.
How's that? That mic placement should work. Yeah, that works. All right, just make sure I'm getting on camera. It's my first unboxing. I've never done an unboxing. Very exciting. Oh, God. I feel like I'm watching my 2-year-old trying to figure out how wrapping paper works. Okay. Woohoo! We have some crap ton of styrofoam. Yep.
I think you've got the right side open, though. That's a good start.
I got the AC adapter. Yep. Excellent. Ooh. It's like opening my stocking at Christmas.
I think those are just like, there's only one end that's really wrapped.
Is this the battery thing?
Yeah, so that's the USB battery, and you'll see where that goes in a moment. Kind of for the idea is, cords suck. Let's if we want to do a video with it, maybe it goes on the wall or something, and we can power it for a battery from, I don't know. I think it'll go for about 3 hours on that battery.
That's perfect. I don't think I've done an over 3-hour stream in ages. It's streaming's fun, but God, it's kind of tiring. Hello, Trin Hardbra. Trin Hardbra? Did I get that right? Any ideas, Andy, on the pronunciation?
Trin Hardbras.
Oh, trying hard? Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right, let's see what this one is. This is the... Oh. This is a stand?
Yeah, that's kind of the idea is it can sit on the desk on a little, it just kind of sits in there.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see that. All the, the exposure's a little bit off, but yeah, all the little 3D marks from its printing.
You got your looks going, right? You got to thank Gaming Golf for that lovely host.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Golfer. Such a helpful guy. I tell you, if I ever created a cool channel with production, he'd be my producer. And is this the goodie? Nope, there's one more before I get to the main event.
No, I think those are just padding.
Oh. Padding. Excellent quality padding.
I have hundreds of these envelopes, by the way, so, I had to use
And a
them for
crap
something.
ton of styrofoam that is sure to get all over this office.
Yeah.
Which normally wouldn't be a problem because this is a co-working space that should be cleaned every week, and it is, except with COVID, they stopped doing my office. So, I had to take out my trash today.
Oh,
Ugh, what the hell, man? All right, here we go. Drum roll.
Please don't be broken.
It's gonna be awesome. Hey, trying hard, brah. Welcome. You have hundreds of those envelopes. Not sure if you secretly work for UPS or spend way too much time on Amazon. That's a good point. I feel like Andy, with his penchant for gadgets, would live on Amazon deliveries.
You know, I'm trying hard to cut back on the Amazon. The envelopes are more just a fluke thing. I bought some, or actually the supplies are actually free. If you want to ship stuff from USPS, you can just order free supplies. They'll literally ship you a box of these envelopes.
That's cool.
For free. I accidentally ordered, I ordered the box of 100 of them.
Oh, geez.
So I have a box of 100 of these. I only needed, 2 or 3. I have 100 of these sitting in my garage.
Wow. Yes, you do. All right. Now, before I open this, just to prolong it, because why the hell not? Tell me the story of this creation.
Okay.
And we'll even make you, should we make you big? Probably should make you big.
Sure, why not?
It's biggish. There we go.
I'm playing around a lot more with physical stuff. I'm getting into electronics. I'm getting into 3D printing. So, the best way to learn about this stuff, you've mentioned this before, is to have a project and do it. Have a goal in mind. Have something in mind that you want to create.
Right.
So my idea was, I printed this little lamp behind me. You can see that turned out okay. It's like, well, I want to do something more. What's the next step? And I was like, maybe a logo of something. Maybe I can just make something for someone that kind of has more of a purpose. And it just kind of popped into this like, hey, the Sleuth logo could be a light. That could work as a 3D printed object. It's actually not that complex.
Right.
Other than the fact that parts of it are floating, so you have to connect them somehow. And I just kind of floated the idea to you, and you thought it was awesome. And that's pretty much the end of it. I just took it from there. I was like, all right, I'm going to build this. I'm going to go start to end and just see if I can finish this thing and make it work.
I think what's amazing to me, I mean, there's so many things amazing to that story, but I mean, one is that, you're trying something like, you're not a 3D printer or any of this. This is just like a hobby. And so you use this as a way to get into it. But the fact that you were able to actually deliver on it is amazing. Like, so many people, start that project, and usually where it ends, or at least it was for me many times, is I'll do a bunch of research and maybe even bookmark things, maybe even throw a few things in my cart, and then, I forgot about it or whatever. But the fact that you went all the way through beginning to end is pretty impressive. And I think that's what a lot of people don't miss on the side project is, said they just go to the research phase and kind of stop there. So how did you get the motivation to finish it all the way off? What was your secret?
And that's exactly what I was just gonna say is, when you have a purpose and it's for someone, and there's a little bit of that expectation, that gives you the bit of motivation you need to take it to completion and get it over that hump of, oh no, this is just a looking at stuff online versus, yeah, I've got like, there's kind of a reason I should finish this now, so I'm going to actually complete it. And other than that, everything just kind of actually fell into place. All the parts kind of worked together. I didn't run into any major problems. It's pretty simple and straightforward as a second 3D printing project. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
But you had to design it, right? Like what program did you use to design it?
Yeah, so that's part of the learning aspect is doing some CAD software. So I'm using software called Onshape, which is actually a web-based CAD software. And you can share designs. I think I actually did share the design in Discord. If people want to look for it, you can actually scroll back and find it. And you can actually just click on it and look at the CAD design that I've been working on for this lamp. And using this as an opportunity to just hone CAD skills and learn more CAD is great. because CAD is a big part of 3D printing or just design in general.
Right. I think again, how do you get people past that first stage? And the point that you were making about how you were doing it for somebody just kind of gave you that motivation. Because, I mean, honestly, like you didn't have any obligation. It's not like, you're one of the Sleuth employee or anything like that. Like you just did it out of interest and out of passion. Sure. But just the fact that you told somebody you were going to do it it sounds like kind of helped drove that process or drove the desire to keep it going.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really cool tip. Any other ways that we can procrastinate before I finally get to open this thing?
I mean, I can just mention a couple other more interesting tidbits, I guess. I don't own a 3D printer. This is a 3D printed object. I do not own a 3D printer. So all the pieces I've had 3D printed so far myself, which has only been, let's see, 1, 2, 3, including this lamp, about 3 things I've printed. This being the first one that I actually fully designed in CAD myself. The other ones were just off the shelf things that I had printed. I've used a service that just, pay 40 or 50 bucks to have someone 3D print a part for you. So you don't even need a 3D printer to do this if you, at least have some cash around, and it'll, it costs a little bit more than if you already had the 3D printer, sure, but it's an easy way to get into design and 3D printing without even having to throw down $300, $500, $1,000 for a 3D printer.
And I'd imagine because of the size of the task, I mean, it's not like a little, 1-inch figurine or something. Like you built a significant thing. So I would imagine it's not always that much money. Sometimes it might be a lot smaller depending on what you're building.
Yeah, I think, full disclosure, I think this one cost, if I remember correctly, this one was around $120 to print.
Oh.
So it depends. Again, this is all a learning thing, and I'm willing to spend my own time and money for my own learning. So this is a totally pro bono thing. There's no cash exchange going on here. I wanted to do this anyways, whether or not it was a logo for Sleuth or someone else. I was going to just do it myself anyways. But yeah, so it does range. If it's a small figurine or something like that, you might get away from, I think there's minimums, but $20 just to have someone print it and ship it to you. But it ranges. There's large scale printers. You can find people that have large scale printers where you might have been able to print this entire object in one go. But this happens to be, I had this printed on a more smaller scale printer, so it's just multiple objects. Yeah, so it varies, but yeah, still, for 30, 40 bucks, you can have things printed and get into CAD design and 3D printing.
Yeah, and I think that that point that you're making about you can find resources to do that. I think often, it's like, oh, okay, I research how to 3D print. Maybe I play with some online tool. And then I say, well, and the next step is I need to buy a 3D printer. And then you go and you look and, okay, $1,000. Oh, but if I get the $2,000 model, and then you start going down, at least I do, always another rabbit hole of research and planning and spec back and forth and all that stuff. And you're saying you don't need to do any of that.
And it's also one of the cool things I learned is I actually emailed and talked to one of the people that helped me 3D print this lamp behind me. And they talk to me about all the settings they use and all the tweaking that goes into the slicer program and the settings for the printers. There's temperatures, there's speeds, there's nozzle sizes, there's all kinds of things and variables that go into that. And when you get your own 3D printer, you kind of start from basically zero. You get to print something, you get to see it fail, you get to tweak the settings, and you get to try again. When you pay 30 or 40 bucks to someone to do it for you, they've already been through all that. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's not even just you take it, you plug it in, you throw a file on there, and away you go.
I mean, if you're lucky, maybe, but I believe there is a lot of trial and error in getting 3D printing set up and going, especially for the kind of entry level 3D printers. It's there's lots of variables involved, so there's lots of tweaking to get things right, to get the quality up to spec at least.
Right. But 3D printing is only one part of the story. There's also a lot of custom electronics in here to do the programming. Talk about that a little bit.
So the electronics are basically LED, RGB LED tape, which is pretty common these days. It's a very common thing that people play with and set up in their houses and stuff. This is LED tape that doesn't have any cover or anything on it. It's just kind of bare tape, and you can cut it to length across the pads, and then you kind of solder it up into lengths that you want. And that is powered by a ESP32. It's a very common chip, if anyone wants to look that up. And yeah, it's basically just power, 5-volt power. A lot of times you can power this stuff from a USB port, which we're right on the limit of how much power a USB port can pull. I've actually set the settings in this firmware to, I've put a power limiter on so that it shouldn't draw too much power. In theory, if you were to go full white, full brightness, it could draw more than the USB port could supply.
And that's 4 volts, right? At half a milliamp, is that right?
5 volts. This particular pack can do up to 2 amps.
Oh, 2 amps.
Milliamps.
Oh, okay.
Full white. I tested full white, full brightness on the strip, and it's around 3.5 amps. So you can, in theory, draw more than the USB port can supply. But you know, it's unlikely that you build something like this and then run it at full white, full brightness. That's not
yeah, this
really
isn't a fill light or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a practical or something in the background.
And that's it. It's just kind of power input into ESP32. ESP32 runs on the ESP32 chip itself runs on 3.3 volts, but generally the boards they do USB in, which is 5 volts, so they all have a 5-volt regulator. And that just basically, the power in powers the LED strip and the ESP32. And then there's a data wire that goes from the ESP32, one of the GPIO pins, to the strip. You flash some firmware on the ESP32 that can send the signal across the GPIO that the strip expects, and away you go.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else we should cover before we get to it?
Nah, let's open it up.
Oh, I'm so excited. All that electronic talk. All right, here we go. It kind of reminds me of, like, you think about like the early days of computing, where people are building their own computers, you know, in the early 80s or whatever. Kind of reminds me a lot about that, where you can kind of get some pieces, not at the local Radio Shack, but, you know, off Amazon or whatever.
Is that what you sent in the other channel a day or two ago? Ringo, remind me what one that was. It might not have been. It was maybe more like a week ago.
You did a couple videos of it working.
Yeah. What I sent a couple days ago was another project, unrelated.
Andy is a very crafty guy.
I'm kind of spending a little bit more time away from the computer. I think we should all just kind of get out, and non-computer hobbies can be enjoyable as well, you know?
Yeah, like Ringo and his photography, for example.
Exactly. Driving around, taking photos and stuff.
Here it is. Dun 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 dun. Whoa, gotta be careful. Don't want to break it. There.
I think if it survived transit, it should be pretty cool.
There we go, man.
Careful with that styrofoam. You're gonna get styrofoam everywhere, but that was just to kind of secure it, make sure it didn't flex either direction.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. Let me get the styrofoam out so we can do. And now I feel like I should have like the sliders and shit, you know, that they have for the professional YouTube unboxing videos. And do those, you know, half focus, half in kind of orbits.
The track camera stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Check that. Damn, that's actually pretty sturdy.
Yeah, it's not like it's gonna fall apart or anything. You can kind of like feel the flex too. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's not aluminum or something, but it's also not. I mean, you know, for how you tried to keep these small things, is that you can see that, you know, these are what's holding the Sleuth, but you recessed them so that you can't really tell, especially once it's lit up. I agree. I think the gray was a great choice.
Yeah, I think it looks better as a non-keyed out piece.
Yeah, I can always put some gaffer tape on it or something if I really need, but I think this is fine. So this is the front, and I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you probably can see. So this is, it looks like you put some kind of acrylic cover, then that's kind of let the light through from the RGB. Is that right?
Yeah, the top there, the actual face is just a laser cut acrylic. So that was that's why some of the cost is higher. Like the 3D printing wasn't that expensive, but the acrylic pieces that go on there had to be laser cut. So, you know, I think that was like $40 of the cost as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this is kind of the back. So here's, I'm guessing this is where most of the hardware is located.
Yep, you are correct.
And what's this piece right here? Is this the kind of the mount?
This kind of was, that was kind of my idea for a hanger, and I just kind of made it long lengthwise, so it was, you know, you could rotate it correctly, balance it correctly.
Right.
I had it hanging just on, I had it hanging just on a nail in the wall, and it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah.
But I just kind of added a bunch of holes and made it super thick, so it could kind of like, you know, you could hook it onto the pin board or something.
Yeah, the pin board, or if we do wires from the drop ceiling or something, that seems like gives us a lot of options.
Yeah, with the battery, I made it long, kind of horizontal there, because with the battery in the back, the center of gravity changes, so I didn't know which hole was like the best for the keeping it centered and level.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so this is the USB plug for power, I'd assume.
That's, yeah, if you want, so that's the one for the battery. So that cover on the kind of vertical cover there,
This one.
you pull that off, you will have to unscrew that. Oh, I should have mentioned to bring well, we'll just do wall power for today, but you'll need I think that's like a 2mm, 3mm hex.
Yeah, I have them at home. I didn't bring it, but I totally have them at home. That's not a problem. Yeah, because that's a little Allen wrench, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. Do the
and that's where the battery
like,
sits. And that cable, that specific cable on the back there is just for the battery. You would just kind of hide that and tuck that away under those posts, those little posts. Now,
okay.
Little disclaimer here. Those posts are very easily broken. I broke 3 of them and super glued them back on.
Okay.
So, eventually they'll probably just all break off and you'll have to kind of just like tape that cable into place. That's kind of me learning that, oh, this seemed like a good idea in CAD, but in reality printed didn't work out very well.
Right. Well, I mean, again, I know you keep saying this is your second one. Game Golfer says major props, Andy. It does look fantastic. He's absolutely right. It does.
Thank you.
But what's interesting is it's actually like really good quality. I don't know how much you can see this. Is actually one advantage of my autofocus camera now, because there's some marks from the 3D printing, but I mean, especially from the front, it just looks totally professional. You know, if I spent $300 on eBay for this is kind of what I would expect.
If you look at it from the front, the acrylic panels are basically the thing you want to see, and they're cut very well, and yeah, that's all you need to see.
But back here, I mean, the screws make it pretty sturdy. And what's this button? I guess this is the on-off switch. Yeah,
it can be used as just on-off LEDs. And I think if you hold, there's macros you can use to, if you hold it down for long press, you can make it do different things as well.
Oh, okay. That's cool. All right. Well, let's see if we put it, plug it in. What would be the best way for right now?
Well, we can't put the USB battery in the back of it, so let's just use the power adapter if you've got a power port nearby.
So that's this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to plug it into here. Is that right?
Yeah, you basically unplug the USB one and you'll just swap it out for the power one. And the idea is the USB cable was supposed to just kind of live behind there, but it's
right.
flopping around and it's in the way. It can probably be pulled off.
I'll figure this out. All right, I'm gonna go duck underneath my table. There.
Alrighty. So pretty soon we'll be able to see how this light works on your camera. When you're doing it on camera, you have to turn down the brightness a lot because cameras are just, I guess, way more sensitive than human eyes. I'm not sure.
Let me try to. I don't need this hair light. Let me unplug my hair light, and that'll give me a thing that I can move over.
Whew, you know you have it made when you have a hair light.
Well, what happened was I had this green screen, and it wasn't giving me the key I wanted. And so I was researching everything, and one person said, you need a hair light. So I'm like, all right, hell, I'll get a damn hair light.
Wow, okay.
I don't think it's actually super, I don't know, it's okay. But it didn't really help me with my key. Okay, we have it plugged in. Yeah, boy, I'm so glad that I got my Sony up here instead of my GoPro. I feel like the quality is so much better.
Yeah, the quality's amazing. I was just about to say actually, at least the on-stream quality. I'm looking at on-stream just because it looks way better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you see the other webcam that I have, and that
just pulls out too. You don't have to unscrew that.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Oh, this just pulls out? Okay.
Yeah,
oh,
that's just a barrel jack. Oh, barrel jack.
Okay, let's see if we get the right moment. Oh shit, there it goes. Kick ass. That is.
Yeah,
Wow.
Sony pulled down its ISO a lot for that one.
Yeah, it did. It was like, oh shit. I think I have it mostly on auto, the camera, which sometimes I hate because it starts breathing like focus and things. But right now, for this, where I keep holding something in front of the camera, it's perfect.
And we can pull, once we get it connected to the Wi-Fi, I find that just pulling down the brightness a lot on the piece works a lot better for cameras.
Right. And that's not too bad. Actually, here, let me kill my... Whoa. I don't know if that really helped, but...
I think you might actually want more light. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess it does. It kind of doesn't...
There's a little bit of tuning involved, definitely, but that's kind of a...
But now it kind of washed it out. Come on, camera, adjust. I want to see the blues and the yellows. Oh, that's mesmerizing.
It'll look much better on camera once we pull down the brightness on it.
Oh, look at that. So yeah, the camera finally went down, and so now you can see some of the more colors and just how it dances through. I mean, the fact that you put the different RGBs even within each one so you could get the movement, it's amazing. I honestly thought you just put a light in each one and call it a day, but...
Nah.
That is incredible.
We're not going to take the easy way out.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think there's exactly 100 RGB LEDs that wrap around the outline of the whole thing. Yeah, about 20 in each one.
I totally want to take it apart, but luckily I don't have the tools for it. Because I'm so interested in like how you built it inside and all the... I mean, 100 LEDs for a light like this small is amazing.
I mean, definitely do pop open the back panels just to see. Like, there's no harm in that. So when you have a tool to pop it open, I definitely encourage that.
All right, so I should be able to put this on here, right?
Yeah, you'll see it kind of like just pushes back, and the case for the electronics just kind of notches into that thing, and it literally just sits there. There's no special clip or anything. It just kind of sits on there.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, yes.
Yeah, because it's angled. That should be the correct angle. Yeah.
yeah. That looks perfect. I just had it too far forward, so it kept falling out. But now that I see what you're talking about, it not just
push it all the way against the little stop back there, and it just kind of sits there.
You get it's the little details that Andy did. Check this out. I know this is minimal, but look at this. So see this little, I don't know how well you can see this, but there's this little screw, and he put a little notch in the stand for even the little screw to go. I'm not even having it in the right spot. I don't know how well you can see that. It's just the attention to detail is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if we can see that. I know what you're talking about. That was one I discovered when, in CAD, some tools are better than others at this, but you have you have intersection checks and you have like interference checks. or where things hit other things that shouldn't be. And
Right.
that was one of those that came up, and I was like, "What?" And then it showed me there's like, "Hey, this screw is hitting the outside of this." I was like, "Oh crap."
Yeah. It's
Okay, we'll put a little cutout there for the screw.
does the button do anything?
It should turn it on and off now.
Okay.
I think that's all it'll do right now.
How do I turn it back on?
Are you holding it down too long? Just press it once.
Press it once. Hey, there we go. It must have been just slightly too long.
You might be triggering the long press action. There's two different actions there.
Right. So freaking cool. Awesome. So what's the next steps?
Next step, let's get this on Wi-Fi and let's get into the interface.
Okay. So this, you said is automatically. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I guess we totally forgot to mention. It's Wi-Fi. You put a Wi-Fi modem. Is it a modem? A receiver? In here?
The ESP32 is actually a Wi-Fi microcontroller. It actually has built-in Wi-Fi.
Let's put that there.
Yeah,
Put
right
some of this
underneath.
packaging material. Okay. Whoa! Careful. Don't need the knife anymore. Andy, the fact that you actually put a Wi-Fi transmitter is heck amazing. Heckin' amazing. I love it, Gaming Golfer. It's next level shit. Well, I added the shit. I think you probably would have said heckin'.
Yeah,
You'll
I'll
accept
say shit
both?
sometime.
We have anything connected? Yep, we're connected. All right.
Okay, cool. And it will be on, oh gosh, it's gonna be like a 192.168. Actually, no, what's the IP? It's a weird IP. I think it's 4.3.2.1.
Aha, yes. And now what do we do? Connect web?
You can pull that up as a web page and we'll go through the configuration.
Okay, cool. So we're connected to this. So this is the config. Damn, this is amazing. So this is all built into the light. And I'm hitting a web server running inside the light. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, so what we're at is we're hitting the web server with our web browser that's running inside of a light. This
Correct.
feature is so cool. Just saying there's some next level stuff. You normally see these kind of features from a $400 unit. I know, right? Andy, you really realize that you, I've, as I said, I've had at least one request to you to build them a thing. So if you ever want to go into business, I don't think you do, but if you ever did, I can hook
if we
you up.
want to build another one, I'm happy to do it. Except next time we're gonna have to pay for all the parts.
That's fair enough.
Tell them it's $150 for one or something.
An hour plus parts. Yes. All right, cool. So we have a connection. It is on the public internet. It is publicly accessible. Now what?
So let me give you the kind of 5-minute rundown of this, and then I'll take off and let you play with the API and stuff. So I guess to start, we're looking at the color selection. So this is basically where you select either your couple primary colors that you use or a palette of colors. If you scroll down, there's a whole bunch of different built-in palettes of colors. Ooh. Some of the palettes actually use the primary colors in them.
That's pretty cool.
And so that's all colors. That's just dealing with the colors of the lights that it will use. The next part is effects. Yeah, so I think you're actually changing the colors right now.
Yeah, when I click, something happens.
Yeah, you're setting the palette for the. You're setting the palette for the particular effect that's running right now.
Yep. Okay, and then what was the effects you said?
So go over to. So now if you go to the effects tab.
Effects. Yep. Oh damn!
There's a whole bunch of different effects.
Bouncing balls. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's lots of fun stuff. Now.
Ooh. That is confusing the hell out of my camera.
Yeah, there'll be a learning curve, but it's mostly just, play with it, see what works, see what doesn't. Nice. There's lots of stuff. Now, where it gets interesting is segments. You can segment the LED strip into different ways, and then you can actually set effects per segment or colors per segment.
Okay.
And the way this works is segment, so LED 0 through 20 is segment 0, which is the center of the logo.
Yep.
And then segment 20 to 100 is the rest of the outside ones. So this particular effect, I have it set so that you can basically do something different with the center versus the outside.
Cool.
If you go over to the presets tab, which I think is cut off on stream, but there's a presets
Favorites?
tab down there. Favorites, sorry.
Yep.
I added a couple. For example, 5 colors. If you click on 5 colors, that's going to load up if you actually click on it, not the drop down, it'll load it as well.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now, if you go back to segments, so segments actually save with the preset or the favorite. You can see that there are now 5 segments. In this particular one, I've segmented each kind of part of the logo into its own segment that you can do different things.
So is it 20 per panel?
It's not exactly 20 per panel. Some of them, I think some are 19. Yeah, if you open them up, you can see like.
Oh, I see what you did. We did
because
19.
because the first 2 pieces are actually smaller than the rear of the logo. So more LEDs were able to fit in the rear and the front.
Okay.
But you can kind of use these as templates for addressing the different parts of the logo.
Yeah, I mean, this is super useful because, so I don't have to trial and error and figure out where the different LEDs are and everything.
And there's a couple other ones in there just as examples of center and then all the outside, or just, ones that I thought, I don't know, I was just playing around and doing stuff that looked interesting.
Right.
Lava is kind of cool. Lava was in the demo video. It's just kind of the one that like flows around the outside of the thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, hard to see on camera because the camera exposure goes crazy for the lighting. Oh, actually so on the very top, pull the brightness down at like 10%.
Oh,
and I think it'll look a lot better.
Where's that part? Oh, brightness.
On the very top right.
I need to hit apply, or is it just done?
No, it should be automatic.
Okay.
It looks a little less washed out now, but
right.
It's kind of a trial and error thing.
Okay. I guess I could turn off all the lights and stuff, but I don't know if that would actually help super much.
Yeah, maybe Daniel has some tricks on filming with lights. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll ask him. Okay, so we have segments, we have effects, we have colors. What else do I need to know?
I think you're good. We can go into the config a little bit, and I can show you where you might want to enable stuff if you want to interact with it via a different type of API. Under sync, there are a couple different interfaces for lighting, like E131. I don't know if you've heard of that before. It also has an MQTT integration. So if you wanted to, run some kind of messaging service to address it, you can do that.
Oh, wow.
And then if you go to their GitHub and wiki, there's actually documentation on their sync protocol and the JSON API. And there's also an async Python library for integrating with it.
So what's the name of the Python one?
I think it's just WLED Python.
The WLED is the, okay.
WLED is the firmware that runs on the, I think that's it.
So I would use this. I would connect obviously to the thing, and then I send it. Oh, okay. Well, they have some commands here, or I'd imagine that was the whole point with. Oh, damn it. These, no, not config. Where was it that I was seeing the JSON that you would send? Is that segments? Is that favorites?
Segments, yeah, segments are presets, sorry, or favorites. Favorites save the actual segment and color information and effect information that you can actually see. So
But I
yeah,
could
if
probably
you wanted to send raw JSON to the API, that would be an actual command you can send to it.
But I can probably call segments, enable segments by name. I'm guessing. I haven't looked at the API, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think the API has, instead of just the whole light itself, you can address segments and stuff individually.
So I can go to the web UI and kind of get it how I like it, and then derive it through Python. Or if I wanted to do something more dynamic, of course, then I could generate my own API command. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think you're pretty close. I think the Python API is able to do everything you see in this JSON structure, though.
Right. Okay.
You don't necessarily need to just send JSON. I think everything is in here. There's just different methods and stuff of turning on and off segments, setting the color and effect for a segment, for example.
Okay.
An effect has a certain ID, and you would just set to that ID. So there's kind of a list on the wiki. I think there's a listing of effects and what their ID is, and palettes and what the palette IDs are, and that type of stuff.
Right. Okay, cool. So with this information, I can have my bot, I can connect to it, I can have my bot listen for a command, for example, and then when it gets it, it'll just run this little bit of Python to switch to whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe the easiest way is to actually make a preset that kind of looks like an alert, and maybe just have it switch to that preset for a set period of time, and then switch back to a normal preset. That would be kind of like the cut and dry way of doing an alert.
Yeah, I have to figure out the alert, which of course is where Finite yells at me for not using Tau. So much guilt. I'll see if I can quickly do it. Otherwise, I'll figure out Tau and do it. So, okay, so step one is just a chat command. That's super easy. And then step two is to hook it up into the alerts. So when follows or something, then it'll go nuts or whatever.
I think that's a good first step. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we could do the channel points thing, but that's a little bit more advanced.
That's later on.
Yeah, well, God, I can't believe how easy you made it for me to use. How it's just a little bit of Python, and now I can control this thing, and 100 LEDs. That's a lot.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make cool animations. I don't know, but I guess people maybe will have ideas of animations on what how the alerts can look on it, or what it can be used for.
Yeah, Daniel is actually, he's redoing a bit of the graphics for the Dev Matters show, because down in the bottom right, the logo just spins, and they want to do some other kind of movement thing. So it'd be cool if I could figure out how to get the LEDs to kind of simulate that movement.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
And it would be super cool if I timed it up to the Dev Matters overlay, so that when the overlay spins, you see the logo in the background. Okay, now that's getting crazy, but
I don't know how you'll do that, but that would be interesting.
We always had a term at Atlassian. It's just a matter of programming.
Yeah, programming and video trickery.
Well, yeah, I just have to get the time codes of when those animations start in the video and then sync it up. And
time code stuff. I've never done anything with video time code, but yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way. Now we just need to find out a way to make it pulse. Never gonna give you up. Oh, speaking of that, my son is in band and they're playing that song. So I get to hear it every day from the standpoint of the baritone. Well, Andy, I'll let you go. I know you were trying to eat food for the last hour, and I've interrupted your process, but
no worries.
Thank you. You made my day. I don't know how to express how excited I am and thankful. This is amazing. This is the coolest gift I've got outside of everything my family ever got me in a very long time. This is just so unexpected and very thoughtful and on brand with helping people learn things, and then you live it. Perfect.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Gaming Golfer Andy, you and your project really rock and kick ass. Enjoy your supper. Yes. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on, which I didn't give you any warning about other than, hey, I'm going to unbox. You want to come on? So I thank you for being a good sport as well.
It worked out. It worked out.
All right. Enjoy your supper, Andy. Thanks again.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, that should be it. All right, let's run her. And we're ready. And let's try it. Flash. Yes. Yes. God, this is one of those rare days that it all just works. All right, can somebody do it? Redeem the flash the light thing, please. I wonder if I can redeem. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, we did it. We did it. Oh, okay, all done. Settle down with the breakpoints. Yay! So not only did we unbox this beautiful logo 3D printed by Andy, but we made a IRC bot command $flash to run it, and a channel points redemption using Tau that is created by our very own finite singularity. Complete success.